so let's start with the first example of the course on QGIS with Python. We're going to start mostly with QGIS first, and then we'll see how we can automatize operations with Python. So we're going to look at problems, some data. You should have the folder with the data. This folder has, I'm going to remove that for the time being. Okay. Then you have an input folder with two data sets, shape files. You have several files that, for the shape file, which is a map of the Portuguese counties, and another data set which is a CSV file. We can look at it with Notepad, and it has the locations and date of observation of nests of Asian Hornet, which is a problem in Portugal and other countries. So there's a monitoring program from ECNF, a Portuguese agency, to get the information about locations of nests and to remove those nests. So these data come as a subset of those. This is for this year up to October, and you have data observation, diameter and height of the nest, and then the location in coordinates, latitude and longitude. So you're going to read these in QGIS. Okay, the first problem we're going to think about is how to determine which counties have had observations. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to open QGIS. When you start QGIS, you should always have a project. So right now I have an empty project. I'm going to save it, give it a name. I'm going to save it in the same folder where my data is. So I'm going to call it, for instance, STOPvespa, which is the name of the monitoring program. Okay, save, and now I have my project. So I need to read the data. Well, you could just, for the shape file at least, you could just drag it here, although you could have some problems, mainly because of the encoding. These Portuguese counties have names with accents and cedils, and sometimes you need to be careful how to read the files because of the encoding. So I'm going to do it safer way. I'm going to add the layer as it's a vector layer. I can search here my layer. It's this one, and I'm going to read with UTF-8 encoding, which is the default encoding, but depending on your installation, QGIS might want to use a different one. So I'm going to just do add and close this window, and now I have my map. You can see where it is, where things are using OpenStreetMap from in the browser layer from XYZ tiles. So here we have, and just want to be sure that it's reading apparently the names of the counties correctly, even with accents and the symbols. So it seems to be okay. So if you have like weird symbols here, it's probably because you didn't read it with the proper encoding, which should be UTF-8 in this case. Okay, so now for the other data set, we're also going to use add layer, add limited text layer, because now it's the limited text, it's a CSV file, so that's the option that I'm going to use. And I'm going to look for my file. And now a lot of things can happen. In my case, I read it before, so everything is set. If you don't have any, just use this default CSV separator doesn't read well because it's expecting a comma. In this case, our separator is a semicolon. You have to indicate that so you get your columns. So you can see data is a data format into the decimals for the coordinates. So now, because we have coordinates, we want to say that the x coordinate is going to be the longitude and the y coordinate is going to be the latitude. Finally, if you don't have that, you should select this coordinate reference system, EPSG 4326, which is the global geographic coordinate system that you should use with latitude and longitude. Another setting which is important, really makes things much faster on QGIS, is to use a spatial index. That's just going to help QGIS to search for nearby points, and geographic operations will be much faster. Okay, so I'm going to add this layer and close. I think I did. Okay. So here are our nest locations. You can see that some counties don't have any observations and some have. And so the first problem will be to determine which counties have observations. So this is a query problem where we want to query among the counties which ones, intersect nest locations, and you can solve it with this tool, select by location, which you find here, or you can also find here in the vector menu. It's the same tool. Okay, select by location. So I want to select features from the counties, that intersect features from the nests. And I'm going to create a new selection. I'm going to run. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to zoom to layer just for an idea. Remove this one, and these are the counties that that were selected. Okay, so you could think, and now if you want to save a layer just with the selection, in QGIS, then you can like create a shapefile, for instance, with just selected features using these ways. So I'm going to call it here. I could save it in a geo package. I'm just going to stick with shapefiles for the time being. I'm going to look for my folder, which is here. Maybe I'll create an output folder just to separate my input data from my output data. And then here I'm going to indicate the counties where the nests were observed. Okay. So here's my map. I can now clear the selection. Okay, so you have all the counties and then the ones that we selected. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to see how we can do this from the data we have here, or we can do this selection using Python code in QGIS.